Stephen, when you watch the spring game this weekend, what's the biggest thing you're looking for? I mean, because you're not going to learn too much, but I'm sure your eyes will be on something.
Welcome to TexAgs Rewind. This is Caitlin Torn. We're in here with David Nuno and the fan show guys today. We've had a lot of good people on the show. We had Stephen McGee, Aaron Torres, Brian Corton, Coach Schloss. Who was everyone's favorite character of the day?
So what was your favorite part of the show?
Fan show, always.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah,
pretty good.
I like it.
Analysis right there on that show.
Yeah, well, Thursdays are unique because you really have to stack the first 2.5 hours before we come in. So Thursdays are stacked though. Like McGee's always a great segment. I love Cortan, by the way. And AT, I love AT. We got to get him a better mic though for his phone.
And I love when you talk to OB about soccer. That's always.
You mean European kickball?
That's always.
Why does it always end in a tie?
That's OB for you.
Yes.
It doesn't always end in a tie. Sometimes we win in PKs. All right. So, yeah, on the show, my favorite part.
Nice.
Do you like that?
Nice.
Yeah.
Good drop.
You even know what that means?
No, and I really don't care.
Okay. A la Madrid. Just check out the rewind. Steven, when you watch the spring game this weekend, what's the biggest thing you're looking for? I mean, because you're not going to learn too much, but I'm sure your eyes will be on something.
Yeah, for the quarterbacks, I think it's just playing efficiently. Who can operate the system the cleanest, get their team in and out of the huddle lined up, and then play fast once the snap happens, right? They're making decisive decisions. Even if it's not the best decision, every snap, they don't make the perfect read or whatnot. They're getting through their progression quickly, and they're playing and making decisive decisions. That's a confident quarterback, in my opinion, and that speaks volumes as to where they are in their progression. But I think the second theme for me, especially offensively, is going to be explosive plays, right? So who is that person that steps up and you're like, wow, that guy looks like he could provide some of that big time playmaking ability that this offense is going to need, right? And I think that's one of my biggest question marks for this offense is who is that guy going into the year? So, on that offensive line, it's going to be hard when you're going against your own guys and they're not really getting after the quarterback. There's going to be some early, plays where they blow it dead, where the quarterback probably could have gotten away. But you'll get an indication, hopefully, a little bit of at least where the offensive line is in their progression.
I'm really interested to see just how mobile Connor is.
Yeah.
We know he's not 100%, but where does he look and project how healthy he'll be by August?
Did you see the rosters? I don't know if you did. I didn't really pay that much attention to it, but they were able to draft part of their teams, and Connor's playing with a bunch of the backups.
Yeah. Well,
he's Connor. He'll elevate their game.
He was probably the first pick.
Yeah.
And then, obviously I wasn't there. I guess the next guy has the second and third pick and then the fourth pick. So.
Right.
Be really tough. Really tough. I'm looking at the first four hitters, at least on their stat sheet, and they all have either more walks than strikeouts or really close. Those first four guys actually don't strike out a lot. I'm looking at one guy with 17, the other guy with 9, one with 18, and one with 9. So they don't have a ton of walks. So that's a team that tells me the hitter is swinging, but when he does swing, he doesn't miss. He puts the ball in play. So, and they don't have a ton of bags, but most of their stolen bases are by one guy, TJ McCants, who's really rebounded his career, from going from Ole Miss to Alabama. These guys can hit the ball out of the ballpark. They're predominantly left-handed, and almost every pinch hitter off the bench is left-handed. So the story of the weekend will be, can we handle their pitching, which is really good. Every team's really good in this league. And B, how are we going to get these lefties out? And how are the righties that we have to use going to get these lefties out? So this is another Omaha caliber team who just put it on Arkansas, which nobody's been able to do this year.
Schloss, what is Ryan Prager like on game days? The few times I've seen him away from the field, just very cool, calm, collect young man. How is he leading up to games and when he's on the mound?
Well, first of all, I don't talk to starting pitchers ever on the day of their game. I don't acknowledge their presence. I just let them do their thing, and I don't want to say anything one way or the other. But Ryan's the same guy every day. He's the same guy. He'll have a good time, but he's very consistent about the seriousness of his work. He's very, very deliberate. On the nights that he pitches awesome or he doesn't pitch awesome, if I'm leaving the ballpark here, not here, but in College Station, it'll be an hour after the game's over, and he's down in that training room and weight room doing his post-game arm care. He's super consistent.
Well, David, I appreciate it, man. Look, it's like I say on the show all the time. If I wanted to make everybody happy, I'd sell ice cream for a living. I think one of the reasons that our show does as well as it does, it's because, regardless of who you're a fan of, I was in it. I coached for 10 years, almost 7 years at Division I level. I know how the sausage is made, and nobody sends me money to carry water for any school, and I wouldn't do it anyway, even the school that I root for. I just think it's a breath of fresh air sometimes when, we always say facts don't care about your feelings, and I think we kind of echo that.
Talking to Jake Crain here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Jake, let's get into A&M and the Elko era, and basically I'll summarize part of what you said yesterday. Elko brings that swagger back and a little bit of an old school swagger, if you will.
Yeah, well, look, every program that's worth its salt has an identity, in my opinion. Now, that doesn't mean schematically that if you're the coach at Georgia Southern, you're always going to have to run the triple option. But there's a toughness mindset. I think lately A&M's been they need to be more Yellowstone than they are Suits. Like, this doesn't need to be a beauty contest. It needs to be a bar fight. When I think about A&M, I don't think about a bunch of pretty boys walking the red carpet. I don't think about, NIL and just all this money. I think about the 12th man. I think about the Junction Boys. I think about a group of guys that may not put everything they're wearing on Instagram, but they're trying to knock the teeth through the back of your throat. And I think of a culture that you get every inch out of everyone. It's people playing better than who they really are. That doesn't mean you don't want to recruit the best players. I just think A&M, and I think this is Jimbo's fault, sacrifice talent for culture all across the board. And when you do that, it's not sustainable, even in the era of the transfer portal. And I think Mike Elko is going to bring that grittiness back. I think he's going to bring that, excuse my language, that tough ass back a little bit, that's what A&M should be. That doesn't mean you're always going to win every game. That doesn't mean you're going to go on a dynastical run. But to operate at its highest level of efficiency, I think Texas A&M's got to get back to who they are. And that's more Yellowstone than it is Suits.
Spring football, Elko's got this team working. What are you excited to see, Sutton?
Well, there's 24 new guys that I have no idea. I've never seen them play. It's going to be probably the first spring game that I'm going to need a roster to figure out who's out there. Guys that I've seen on the TexAgs thread, but I've never seen them in person.
Yep.
And so, like, guys like Scooby and some of these guys that I'm like, I've heard of, and I'm really excited. I'm also excited to watch the offensive line. Both sides. I'm loving that we're going to see, we're going to see a lot of guys play, and that's exciting. And so to me, and then Connor, just to see how his foot, is he limping around or is he able to move a little bit? Because Notre Dame's not that far away. Yeah. So,
Roy.
All right, I have changed my opinion over the years of this.
Okay.
I don't care about the spring football game at all because
will you watch it?
I might watch the rerun, honestly. Like on Saturday, I'm going to be in a saddle in the mountains in Colorado. So I got to be honest, spring game's not going to be a big priority. Did you see what Ole Miss did?
They had a weird kind of spring
game.
Yeah, and you know what they did? They involved the fans and had a ton of fun. So somewhere between what Ole Miss does and like having this game that doesn't matter and getting like we've seen the spring game morph a million times over the years between different coaches, like weird scoring systems and this and that. So it's great to see him go out there and see Connor spin a ball, but excited out of spring football because I keep seeing that. I'm excited for Scorden, as I say, right?
Nick Scorden, yeah.
Really excited to see his impact. I never glean much from a spring game. That's the problem. It's like you know, Aggies are going to win and Aggies are going to lose, and at the end of the day, like, we just hope nobody gets hurt. What's the point of that? You know, like,
well, I know you really can't do it in football, but I would love, and I know it's been discussed, but it'll probably never happen, a spring football game against another team. Sam Houston down the road. I don't care. Somebody, right? It's like obviously the goal is to protect the quarterbacks. Maybe you can't hit them, but having somebody different, because we see the spring sports, or excuse me, the fall sports who do spring action like soccer. They're playing games at this time, and the young players are playing.
Yeah.
Sutton, tell the people what to do.
We're gonna like. Yep. We're gonna subscribe. We're gonna comment. We're gonna share with others on our social media challenge.
Well, hit the like button. You don't have to like it, I guess.
I would prefer if you did enjoy the content.
Yeah,
it would be nice. Please don't hit the thumbs down. If we could just avoid that.
I better not mention it. Disregard what I was about to say. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.